Anime gems you might have missed. Let me guess, you're stuck. You've been endlessly scrolling through streaming services, trying to find something to watch that isn't another epic war, another high-stakes tournament, or another 500-episode commitment. You're tired of the same old power fantasies, the same predictable tropes, and that nagging feeling that you've seen it all before. So, what if I told you that the coziest, most genuinely relaxing adventure is about a guy who gets teleported to a fantasy world and his only power is an online grocery store? Yeah, you heard me. This show is about slaying a legendary beast's hunger with a perfectly cooked chicken and a well-seasoned steak. And it's an anime gem that I guarantee will cure your anime burnout. Let's be real. The isekai genre is oversaturated right now. Every season brings a new wave of protagonists getting hit by trucks or dying from overwork, only to be summoned to save a world they know nothing about. They're usually handed some god-tier world-breaking power that makes them the most powerful person alive, and while that can be fun, it also gets exhausting pretty fast. It's a formula, and any formula you use too often starts to lose its magic. But every now and then, a show comes along that flips the formula on its head and creates something genuinely fresh and something you didn't even know you needed. And today, we're talking about one of those shows, a true hidden gem that trades high-stakes fantasy for high-quality food, my type of anime. This is Campfire Cooking in another world with my absurd skill. The show starts in a way that's a classic isekai. There's a magical summoning circle, a blinding light, and our protagonist named Tsuyoshi Mokuda. He suddenly finds himself in a new world, and what's funny is that he wasn't even the target.
Oops, I missed.
He was just accidentally pulled in alongside 3 teenage heroes who were the actual targets.
Wait, what?
As the king and his court check out the new arrivals, and our protagonist, he gets a little something called all-night supermarket. And honestly, it's a pretty awesome superpower to have. So in a world of swords and sorcery, the ability to order groceries from a modern-day Japan seems, well, useless. The royal court certainly thinks so. They practically laugh him out of the throne room. And this is where the show's magic really starts to shine. The protagonist, who isn't a hero, he's just a regular guy who immediately realizes this kingdom is sketchy and wants nothing to do with it. What also makes this great is that he's not driven by some grand destiny. He's literally driven for a desire for a peaceful life and a good meal. His online supermarket skill is just a magical interface that looks like a shopping website. He can browse, add stuff to his cart, and with a tap, and it's instantly delivered, paid for with the world's currency. And it's not a combat skill, it's a convenience skill, and that's what makes it so brilliant. The show completely subverts the power of fantasy, and it's not about fighting monsters with overwhelming force, but about figuring out which cut of monster meat would go best with the teriyaki sauce he just ordered. What's great about this anime is the stakes aren't about saving the world. The stakes are, do I have enough salt and pepper for this orc steak? Will this ground dragon meat work for a hamburger patty? It reframes the whole idea of power in a fantasy world, suggesting that maybe the greatest magic of all is just a well-stocked pantry. Of course, a show like this lives and dies by its characters. This is where Campfire Cooking truly shines. The protagonist is cautious, slightly anxious, but fundamentally a kind adult. As a former salaryman, his first instinct isn't to rush into battle, but to find a safe town and figure out his budget. His reactions to this fantasy world are often hilarious. He's not impressed by ancient magic. This realistic attitude makes his first major encounter even better. Deep in a forest, he comes face to face, not with a goblin, but with a Fenrir, a legendary wolf of immense power. And what does this terrifying beast want? A bite of the ginger pork stir fry he was cooking. So, I know you're asking, what makes this the perfect show for when you're feeling burned out? Well, because it is, by design, an anti-burnout anime. First, let's talk about the food. The animation during the cooking scenes is absolutely fantastic. It is a feast for the eyes as well as your tummy. Every slice of an onion, every sizzle of meat in a hot pan, every perfectly plated dish is animated with so much love and mouth-watering detail. It's food corn of the highest caliber.
Yeah, boy.
And it never fails to feel warm and satisfying. And on top of that, the stakes are low, which is wonderful. There's no looming threat, no grand conspiracy, no world-ending plot. The conflicts are small, personal, and almost always solved by the end of the episode, which is great. And the biggest source of tension is usually Fel demanding a third helping of dinner. It's an anime you can put on after a long day and just relax. You can just vibe and chill. And of course, the animation is great. It's made by the same studio that made Attack on Titan, so this studio is well known for its intense productions. This studio chose this anime as its first first ever isekai adaptation, which speaks volumes. And then of course they did bring their A game with the animation. It's great. Like I said, the cooking is fantastic. If you've seen Food Wars, it's basically that level of like detail to the food. It's great. Which also must have been great for the animators to take a break from constant combat animations, you know? In a sea of isekai that feel the same, campfire cooking in another world dares to be different. It's quiet when others are loud, gentle when others are violent. It understands that sometimes the greatest adventure isn't saving the world, but finding a little piece of it to call your own, and sharing a good meal with family you found along the way. It avoids the tired tropes like harems and fan service, focusing purely in its wholesome comedic premise. The show was a quiet hit that built a dedicated fan base, and the wait for more is almost over. A second season has been officially announced and is scheduled to premiere in October 2025. The new season is set to introduce new characters, including a pixie dragon, and promises even more delicious looking food. You can stream the entire first season on Crunchyroll right now, so if you're looking for an escape, a show that will make you smile, make you hungry, and genuinely make you feel good without asking anything in return, this is it. It's a true hidden gem that really deserves all the love it can get. So what's your go-to comfort anime when you're feeling stuck? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm always looking for new recommendations myself. And if you enjoyed this, consider liking and subscribing for more recommendations that you might have missed. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.